Right, so the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority says it will commence re-examination of some 16 trucks loaded with goods seized by a presidential task force. Commissioner of the Customs Exercise and Preventive Service, that is Isaac Aponti, says his outfit is also interested in investigating alleged brutalities of traders whose items were seized. He spoke with my colleague Komla Kluche.
Or who is behind the bust of this trucks?
If you say bust, you mean the arrest of the consignments from the eastern frontier? Well, indeed, the presidential task force has been set up to assist customs in arresting on custom goods. They have been doing this for some time. You are aware of the example of the cement under which textile was hidden that was arrested recently. And so there are cases of this in recent times, that is to say. And so we have also had reports that some consignments were arrested at Asikuma Junction and they were brought over to the KIA office there. Now what happens normally is that because these people are not customs officers, when they arrest goods, they bring them to that place. They give us a written report describing the circumstances under which the goods were arrested. And then we will do a reassessment of the goods and determine whether there are revenue shortfalls arising from under declarations or things like that.
But have they provided you with any report yet?
So the reports that have come to us so far, because they have indicated that they suspect that these people may have gotten fictitious documentation to support the goods, because at the time of arrest the vehicles were not accompanied by the duty payment documents, and they were submitted to them maybe days after they have done the arrest. They believe that there have been some kind of fictitious documentation and things like that. And therefore, as a result of that, we will need to conduct an examination to establish the facts as to whether indeed these documentation are false or whether they are really authentic. If we arrested our own things, we have all the facts, so immediately we make it available. But because they are arresting, they will have to give us a report. And when they give us a report, based on the report, we will do an investigation. And then after the investigation, we decide whether the re-examination that we have done actually speaks to the authenticity of the documentation that they have brought or not.
Right, so the GRA picking up the challenge to re-examine and bring out the facts. It's a developing story and we would follow that beat and give you updates as and when it comes in. Let's talk about illegal fishing on our shores, and the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development has set up an enforcement unit to combat illegal fishing in Ghanaian waters. Now, Sector Minister Nanyu Bilejo says that Ghana's fishing regulation laws are not biting enough to arrest offenders.
It is estimated that illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing accounts for 30% of total global fish catch, causing economic losses to $23 billion. In Ghana, illegal fishing is strengthening the country's aquatic resource, compelling the nation to lose 1 million cedis. Government is now set to permanently deal ruthlessly with offenders violating international and local fishing laws.
The mandate of the Fisheries Enforcement Unit involves more than enforcement. It encompasses not only traditional enforcement activities, but also the development and establishment of both data collection systems, the enactment of legislative instruments, and the implementation of the management plan through participatory techniques. These elements are meant to achieve increased voluntary compliance.
Setting up a fisheries enforcement unit made up of the Ghana Navy, National Security, Marine Police, BNI, the Fisheries Commission will monitor and control fishery waters. A total of 120 personnel will be scattered on the western, eastern, Volta and inland waters.
When the Navy arrests, prosecution becomes a problem. What is going to happen is, now if there's an arrest, the docket will be prepared by this team, forwarded to the Attorney General's office for very expeditious prosecution. So basically, these are the things which we are going to implement with the enforcement unit coming into place.
Any program funded by the World Bank will equip personnel with modern equipment to effectively combat crime. The Fisheries Ministry says stringent enforcement will be applied to arrest offenders.
Right, so we now turn our attentions to the northern part of the country, where the Fumbisi market in the Upper East region has every kind of edible except for human beings for sale. Of course, they don't do that. Though faced with challenges, the regional minister Alhaji Lamuna Mohammed is promising to fix all the problems. The market is a major foodstuff and animal business center in the Upper East region and draws traders from all over Ghana and neighboring countries together. It is the only market serving most farming communities in the Upper East region, including overseas in northern Ghana. The Fumbisi market is the center of supplies for all kinds of farm produce in larger quantities and a major source of revenue to the Bulsa South District Assembly. Traders say the authorities responsible for the development and organization of the market are simply not working and believe the market attaining a modern status is far from reach. Structures are indiscriminately erected with naked fires near traders. The market has no parking lot, compelling vehicles to park and operate haphazardly. Another worry is a fuel station situated in the heart of the town and market. The poor road network is another issue hampering on the movement of farm produce from the farming communities to the market. Very few vehicles ply the roads and therefore charge exorbitant fares.
We have awarded most of the routes. Now we're going to start most of the route, Bulsa South and North. It's already been awarded to a contractor. I don't want shoddy works. So I make sure that we get the right people to do the work.
And talking about the markets, we wrap up on business this afternoon, looking at the commodity markets. Let's look at how prices of commodities are on the world market. And exactly, you can see the figures here. Gold not faring too well on the world market, and it is gradually bouncing back, though we see it losing some dollars and cents, if I should put it that way. It had a change of $2.17, trading at $1,365.94, of course, with a negative price change of 0.34. We just quickly come down now to look at how the barrel of oil is faring. We saw it trading at $112 about yesterday. Today we see it bounce a little to $110.82 on the world market, of course, seeing 22 cents price change and a percentage change of 0.19. So this is how the commodities look like. And for the Ghana cedi, we saw it losing against all four major trading currencies. Later this afternoon, we'll be giving you the figures also on the forex markets as well as the stock market. I'm Nanika Asari. Good afternoon.